Welcome, this is Vijay from Dino Code Academy. So in this lecture we are going to design the XML part of our application. So let's start this lecture. So head back to Android Studio. So you can see that I have already created an empty activity project inside the Android Studio. So you need to also do that. So when you create an empty activity project inside the Android Studio, so you will get two files. The first is activity main.xml and the second is main activity.java. So I have created this project by using Java. So in this whole project we are going to use the Java. So the application name I set it is the guess the word app. You can name it whatever you want. So I have created this application in two variants. The first is the Java variant and the second is the Kotlin variant. So you can follow along both. The link is in the description. So in this part we are mainly focusing on the designing of our application through XML. So it will be a long video. So before I start coding, we need to add first some dependencies. So open your module.app level Gradle file. And at the end of here, just make a little room. So I need to copy some dependencies. So first dependency that we want is a card view dependency, and the second we want is a design dependency. Just I'm going to paste it here, and you can see that it gives us an error. So we need to make sure that all the versions are same. So copy it and paste it here. Then again paste it for here also. And after that, just click on this sync now. So it will sync the project. So you can see that now the Gradle sync is finished. Now we are good to go. So simply click this module file. Then first just click on this text view and just delete it. And click on this text so that you can get the code view of the XML. Just I'm going to click on this project tab so that you can see everything more clearly. Just make it little minimize. So the first thing that we want, don't need to use this, so just delete it. And I also just make it a little spacing and just delete this one, and at the end just press enter key. Now in this application we are going to use a linear layout, so change the constraint layout to linear layout and the same copy it and paste it here also, because the opening and closing time should be same. You can see that actually looks nice. Now it's time to set the orientation. So orientation I'm going to give it as vertical. Then click on this design button so that you can get into the design editor of the XML, and from there I'm going to select the first text view and drag it inside this linear layout. So you can see that now the text view is appearing at our linear layout, means inside the linear layout. Then again I'm going to select another text view and placing it inside the linear layout. Now you can see that all of these text views are appearing at the top of the screen. So we need to make it at the center and also apply some styles. So before doing that, I'm also going to do what? Just expand this rest directory and this values directory and opening the style.xml file, and from there I'm just removing this dark action bar to no action bar. Just close this style.xml file and just click on this text tab. Again click on this project tab, and here what I'm going to do, I'm going to first give the ID to this text to as txt correct answer. Then for the second text to ID, I'm going to give it as txt right answer. With the corresponding name, I am also going to give in the text corresponding name to correct answer and make it a little space. Then again here it should be of right answer and making a space. I also want to give the gravity of the linear layout to center. Now both of the text are appearing at the center. Now it's time to apply the styles. So first just make a little room here. So first property that I want is actually a text color. So I'm going to give the text color to pure white, and you can see that looks like nothing is displaying. So we also want to give the background color. So background color I'm going to give it as black. You can give whatever color you want, but for the simplicity, for the demo, I'm just using this black and white combination because it looks little bit nice. Now the next property I'm going to give it as text size, that is of 35 sp. Then again the next property is actually text style, that should be of bold. Then the visibility, so the visibility I'm going to make it invisible at the end of the lecture. So also I want the text alignment property to center. Now it's look like, and also I want to give the padding So the padding should be around 30 dp. After padding, we need to give the margin. So it's a margin top is around 20 dp. Then similarly, we need to apply the same code for the second text view as well. So I'm going to copy it and just add the end. Here I'm going to paste it. Now the padding, I'm just reducing the padding to just around 10 dp. The rest of the code will be same. So correct answer, right answer. So just make it here space. So this is right answer. So here we will display our right answer. Now again, I'm going to click on the design view. So before that, just here search for the card view. Now the card view will be displayed here because we have added the dependency for the card view. Then inside of this card view, I'm going to place a one text view. Then again click on this text view to modify the code. Now I prefer to modify the code through coding because it's make it faster. So you can see that now the card view is actually appearing, taking the whole space of the screen. That is because its width and height are actually set to the match parent. So I'm going to set its height to wrap content. And you can see that it's actually appearing. Now I'm also going to give the corner radius. So simply type here radius. So that will display a corner radius. So I'm going to give the corner radius to 10 dp. The next thing that I want is actually a margin. So I'm going to give the margin to 20 dp. So to make a little spacing between them, then simply copy the code, that is from padding to the color text view, copy it and just add the end, paste it here. So and also change the ID to the txt question container. Now make it as its height to match parent and also its height to be match parent. The only thing that we want to change, just background color I want to be white, so just simply change it to F and the text color I want to be black. And I also want to give the background color to the linear layout, so just type here background and just use a hashtag, then FFF. Then from this square, just if you click on this square button, that is the square, so you can change it color from here. So I want this bluish color. Just hit OK. So I'm going to check with this color. The card view corner radius is not looking good, so I'm also going to give the card view background color. So just simply hashtag FFF. So I'm going to give it a little grayish color because the text view is appearing, taking the whole color space. That's why we need to give the same color to the card view. So instead of giving color to the card view, because card view is actually fully hidden by the text view. So cut it and paste it here. So you can see now the text view actually looks like little darker gray. Little darker gray, or we can say whatever, little light darker gray. After that, here we will display a random text for our application. So here type a random text. Now again click on the design view and again search for the card view inside the search bar and just select the card view and drag it inside the linear layout. Then inside of this card view, just drag a one plain text which is a edit text and click on this. Just minimize it and click on this text button to go into the text editor of the application. Then again you can see that the card view is taking the whole space. So we need to change its width should be match parent, the height is going to be wrap content, and the edit text we are going to make it into match parent and the height should be of match parent. Then again copy the corner radius property and margin top property from the previous card view and paste it inside this card view. Now for the edit text, simply copy this text color property to the padding and paste it inside the edit text. So you can see that it looks like a button that's not looking good. So just change the color to the bright white. Instead of text, we want to here make it hint so that user don't need to delete the text and then type it because it's irritating. So I'm also going to display a enter message. So here I will type enter your text, so that user can get the idea what user needs to type here. After doing that, the margin top property, we need to specify the margin top property to 60 dp. After doing that, it's time to increase the padding as well. So I'm going to give the padding to 20 dp, increasing the corner radius to be around 15 dp. And similarly for this one as well, 15 dp. Now you can see that the one problem, the background color is not changing. So that's actually the newer version of Android Studio creates a problem. So I don't know what it's doing. So it's time when we build the application, then I will see if it's still getting the problem. So I will try to fetch the solution. So right now the entire canvas looks like purely white. So let me first complete the design process. So maybe at runtime it will display the things correctly. Now here we need to display 3 buttons. So before doing that, I'm going to run the application to see why this background color is not appearing inside my linear layout. So I hit OK. Now you can see that our application is running, but you can see the problem in the design editor. The color is not showing, means the linear layout background color is not displaying. But when I run the application into virtual emulator, it's actually showing. So this is the problem of the Android Studio, and I'm using the Android Studio version 3.1.2. So that's actually the problem. So maybe the updated version will fix this problem. So I'm going to minimize this application, but I also want to change this bar color to be blue. So just copy this color code, and just click on this project tab, just open the color.xml, and from here just simply paste this color to here, and also here, hit then close this code. And what I want to do, we want to display 3 buttons, but you can see that there is very less spaces available, so I need to decrease the padding, and you can see that at the top there is a lot more spaces available. So before removing the padding, I'm going to place one linear layout here. So for that, just click on this design tab again, is the design button, and just click on this layouts, and from there select a horizontal linear layout and drag it at the linear layout hierarchy. Inside of this linear layout, I'm going to place 3 buttons. So there is the first button, then there is the second button, then there is the third button. Then again click on the text button to go into the XML editor code view, and from there we are going to modify these buttons. So first, the linear layout is automatically sets the weight sum property. So here we will type a weight sum property. So I will type here weight sum, and I will be giving the weight sum property to 3. Then from the margin top, we want margin top around 50 dp. And after that, we need to apply the button. So I'm going to style the first button, then I will be copy and pasting the code. So the first thing we want is actually text all caps. So the first property, that text all caps, should be false. Then the second property is actually text style, that should be bold. And then the text size property, that should be of 25 sp. After that, we want to give the text color. So the text color I'm going to give it as pure white, so triple F. After that, there is a background color. So background color I want to give it as red. So first I will type the triple S and F. Then by selecting this pop-up menu, here I can select the red color. And after that, I'm going to give the padding. So the padding should be around 30 dp. So it looks like a little bigger, so I'm going to reduce it into 20 dp, maybe 25 dp. And also text size, I'm going to increase it into like 30 sp. Now the padding is actually seems to be very large, so it's make it into another. Now the padding is actually seems to be a little more, it's not look nice, so I'm going to reduce the padding to 20 dp again. So again, if I click on the design editor, so you can see that still not changing the code. That's because the Android Studio problem. So just leave it as. Now again I'm going to copy this code. Now again I'm copying this code and paste it into all the other buttons. But the third one, I want to change its color to little bit different. So I make it a little darker. Not this one. I don't want to make the first one darker. I just want to make the second one darker. So this is the second one. Just click on it and make it a little darker. Then also change the corresponding text. So the first text is show, and this text is around check, and the text of this button is. So now the coding is done. It's time to build the application to see whether this is working or not, because in the design editor you can see that it's still not showing the background color. So I'm going to build it into my virtual emulator again. So you can see that our application is running, but in the design editor you can see that it's still not showing the background color, but in the virtual emulator when I build the application it's showing the color. That is the linear layout color, which is blue. I also want to change this random text color, means the random text background color text view, to white, because the gray is not looks like good. So just click on this and make it into pure white, and again try to build the application. So you can see that it's look nice. Now all are same. I also want to reduce this padding because I want the padding from top to be more. So just reduce this padding to be, this is the edit text. So I want to decrease the padding around 40 dp, and I want to increase the padding of this text view. So this should be around 30 dp, and from the top that is a padding for this text view. So from margin top I am going to make it at 30 dp. Again I am trying to build the application. So the designing is actually a hit and trial process. You need to first code it and then experiment it with again and again by applying some small changes. So now you can see that the application looks fine. So that's the OK layout. If I want to make more additions to this layout, you can do it by yourself. Just for the demonstration purpose, I am going to stick with this layout. So now the designing is done. It's time to give the IDs to the all text view, that is the txt container. So it's time to give the ID to this edit text. So I'm going to give the ID to this et user input. Then similarly for giving the ID to this button, that is the first button, this is for bt show, that is bt show, and similarly this button ID I'm going to give it as bt check, and then click on this next button, give it ID as not bt check. This is our button bt check, so just cut it here, and the ID of this button is bt next. The padding seems to be very large, so I'm going to make it padding to be 15 dp, because that's not looks nice, because the button looks like little more square. And paste it again, and just paste it again. So I have removed the action bar. So at the top I just have more padding, so just here I just make it around 50 dp. Now it's time to run the application again to see that everything is working fine. So designing of the XML takes a little time, but once it is done, the application looks nice. So you can see that this is the final designing of our application that we are going to use throughout this series. So that's all about this lecture. If you like this video, then please give us a thumbs up, and if you are new to my channel, then subscribe to my channel and also press the bell icon so that you can get a notification when I upload a new video. Also, if you face any problem while developing the application, you can email me and also comment it down, so I will definitely respond to you. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next lecture. Thank you.